Alright, so in this video we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions. This method we're going to be identifying the lowest common factor for our denominators to help them be the same. Benefits of this method is you're less likely to have some horrible simplification at the end. You still might have to do a little bit of simplifying, but hopefully it's a little easier to see. One of the negatives though is that you do have to take a moment to think about the numbers. It's not just a straightforward process. You do have to be able to identify that lowest common multiple in the first place. So these first two questions are just to show what the goal of this lowest common multiple method is going to be. And as we can see here in both questions, our denominators for each of them are the same. So we're just going to quickly process them and show what we need to do. So for this first one, since our denominators are the same, we simply can just add the top two together. And the bottom always stay the same. Make sure your denominator never changes once they are the exact same. So I add together the tops, so that's just going to be 6/5. And I can leave it in this top-heavy format unless a question tells you to write it as a mixed number, just leave it as a top-heavy fraction. This one over here, so here is a mixed number. Now, mixed numbers, I personally prefer just turning them into top-heavy. I don't like adding fractions while they're still mixed numbers. So to do that, I'm going to take my big number here, and I'm going to multiply it with my denominator. So I'm doing 4 times 9, and then I add it to the original number that was on top. And now my denominator just stays the same. And that minus 5/9, I'm just leaving it alone. I'm not done anything with it yet. So to reiterate what I did, first I multiplied the 4 with the denominator, and then you add your numerator, whatever number was on top. And so that's now going to be 4 times 9 is 36, add 2, that's going to be 38/9 minus 5/9. And now my denominators are the same, so I can just subtract the top. And so that's just going to give me 33/9. And in this case, we can do some simplifying. Both of them I can divide by 3. And so then that's just going to be 11/3. Okay, so now let's actually start looking at this method. So first thing I want to do, I want to look at my denominators. So I've got a 6 and a 4. And I want to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4. So as a quick reminder what lowest common multiple is, you need to think about your times table. So here is my 6 times table. So I would have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so on. And my 4 times tables, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so on. And the lowest common multiple is the lowest number, the first number that appears in both lists. So the first one that appears is this 12. And what you will find is that sometimes, if you can see here, we do have another number later on, but it's always best to go for your lowest common multiple, so the smallest number. So now that I've identified my lowest common multiple, and I'm actually just going to quickly rewrite the question down here, just have a bit more space. I need to think, what do I times 6 by to get 12? Well, I've got to times that by 6, and whatever I multiply on the bottom, I must also multiply on the top. And now I've got to think, right, what do I need to multiply 4 by to get to 12? Well, 4 times 3 gives me 12, and I need to also multiply the top by 3. So that's now going to be 10 over 12 minus 9 over 12. My denominators are now the same, so I can now just take away the tops. And this time I'm just going to jump to the last part. So 10 take away 9 is going to be 1 over 12. Okay, so over here, first thing I'm going to do before I look at my lowest common multiple, I'm actually going to sort out this mixed number, because again, I hate leaving them as mixed numbers. So I'm going to have 2 over 3 plus, and then I'm going to do 1 times that 9, so 1 times the denominator. And then add on the numerator. That all goes over 9. So I've now got 2 over 3 plus 11 over 9. So then thinking about my lowest common factor of my denominator. So I've got 3 and 9 here. So I've got to think of the lowest common, not lowest common factor, lowest common multiple of 3 and 9. So my 9, obviously I've got 9, 18, 27 and so forth. And my 3, I've got 3, 6, 9. And at that point, I've already got my lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple can be the very first number for something. That is totally fine. And so for our first one, I need to multiply this 3 by 3 to get to that 9. And so I'll multiply the top. And I don't need to do anything with this fraction here because my denominator is already 9, so I can just leave that alone. So now I've got 6 over 9 plus 11 over 9, and that's just going to be 17 over 9. Okay, next one. So I've got evaluate 3 over 8 minus 3 over 12. So one common mistake that I see is that sometimes when people see that the numerator is the same, suddenly they add them together because they get confused. Make sure it's only our denominators. So we're dealing with 8 and 12 here. So lowest common multiple of 8 and 12. So you've got 8, 16, 24, 30, 32, 40, 48, and so forth. 12, we've got 12, 24, 36, 48. Our lowest number that's in both lists is 24. So that's our goal. So to make 8 into 24, and actually I'm going to rewrite the question down here to give myself a little bit more space. So to get 8 to 24, I've got to multiply that by 3, and so I've got to multiply the top one as well, the same. To make 12 into 24, I'll multiply that by 2, and I also multiply the top one by 2. So I'm now going to have 9 over 24, take away 6 over 24. Take away the tops, I've now got 3 over 24, and in fact this can actually simplify. So again, it's not always perfect. We do sometimes see a little bit of simplification, but it's fine. Just make sure you still keep an eye out for it. So our final answer is just going to be 1 over 12. Not 12, what am I saying? 1 over 8. There we go. That is a lot better. Okay. So, next one. So we've got some mixed numbers. Again, I'm going to deal with our mixed numbers first. So 3 times the 6. And then add on that 1. All over 6. And I need to do it again here. So 2 times the 8. Add on the 3. And let's neaten up. So 3 times 6 is going to be 18. Add the 1, that's now going to be 19. over 6 plus 2 times 8 is going to be 16. Add the 3 is 19. That was not an on-purpose thing. There we are. So we've got these lovely numbers to deal with. So we need to look at our lowest common multiple of our denominators. So I'm going to have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 8. I've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Oh, again, 24 is our lowest common multiple in this case. Got to multiply the 6 by 4. Got to multiply that top one by 4. Got to multiply the 8 by 3. And got to multiply the top one by 3. Now, it is one of those weird things where we spend years and years and years teaching you guys how to multiply or even add things without using a calculator. And suddenly, enter Nat 5, no one wants to do a chimney sum. Use your chimney sums for your multiplications, okay? It is totally fine. You are taught these for a reason. So 4 times that 9 is going to be 36. 4 times the 1 is 4. Add the 3, that's 7. So now I've got 76 over 24. Add, then I've got 19 times 3. So 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 1 is 3. Add the 5, add the 2 gives us 5. And at this point you can just add it in your head, or you might want to also use a chimney sum again. Totally legal. So 6 add the 7, that's going to be 13. Then 7 add the 5 is going to be 12. Add the 1, that is 13. We've got 133 all over 24. And you can get massive gross numbers that look like this. So 2 ways we can go about it. We can either work through, look to see if we can spot anything. So I'm just going to focus on my factors of 24. So 24, I know the numbers that go into it are going to be 2, 3, 6, 8, and 12. Now, first thing I can notice, given that this is odd, it's definitely not going to be any of my even numbers. And one thing I always recommend is if they are both even, just divide them both by 2, work it down bit by bit. So all my left now is with 3. So what I can do, I can always do a quick tester to see, does 3 divide into 133? So, doesn't fit there. 3 goes into 13 4 times the remainder of 1. 3 goes into 13 4 times the remainder of 1. So that doesn't work either. This is my final answer. So that's how you can try and process these massive fractions. But again, just doing it a little bit when they're both even, just divide by 2 unless you are 100% sure what else it might be. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, that is adding and subtracting fractions using the lowest common multiple method.